Now, we don't like to be the predictors of bad news, but sometimes bad news happens, and we've said it before, and then we were right. Here's a case where we were right. We were saying for a long time that the things that these people are pushing, mostly the left, is to indoctrinate the children, to get a hold of the child's mind so that by the time they get to a certain age of decision making, they're incapable of making the right one. Instead, they'll make the decision that the people pushing a narrative will give them. Well, it happened on a school walkout protesting what? LGBTQ rights. You want to tell me I'm lying? Take a look.
Adam, thank you. This morning, a Broward County high school is locked in the middle of a culture controversy over a transgender student.
That a transgender girl athlete, biologically born boy, was competing on the girls' volleyball team. That is against state law. And so the principal and several others senior staffers were reassigned. You see the ground shot of the kids walking out. But take that chopper shot. Now you can see hundreds out here on the field at Monarch High School. These students here are protesting the reassignment of the principal and several senior staffers.
Now, I understand that every parent has the right to raise their children the way they want, but the school doesn't. But that's what we've given them the power to do, though, is to raise our children, because parents aren't parenting anymore. It used to be that you had to double check, triple check your kids' homework, make sure they got everything ready for school. That is passe. It's old. It's vintage. Now the people rearing your kids are actually teaching them something that's not for education, but for indoctrination. What child would say, I'm going to skip school because LGBTQ people aren't being respected? Where would they get that thinking from? In fact, let's back up a little bit. When kids are small, they gravitate to either mom or dad, and their imagination is focused around that. The parent introduces certain things to their playtime or to their education, and in so doing, the child then has a foundation to build on. So when the house preps them and they go out into the world, they can measure what they see in the world to what they've learned at home. But if there's nothing being taught at home, and they're only being taught what's out there, the reverse starts to happen. The external influence starts to become the child's foundation. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now in our schools. That walkout is only an example of what we've been talking about. And of course, it happens on multiple levels. It's not just, for sex education. We're talking about everything from parent advice. They don't want to take that anymore. Parent influence. They don't need that anymore. And before too long, your child is a ward of the state. And I don't mean in prison. I just mean by educational status, they're a ward of the state. They have the talking points without the education. They run the narratives. And now they go out and they peddle it on their social media. Everywhere you turn, children are being less and less aware of their surroundings and history and time, and they're being more involved in what they call social justice. When you ask them, what is social justice? You're a bigot, you don't understand, you're blah, blah, blibbity, blibbity, blah. So what are you fighting for? Well, I'm fighting for this, that, blah, 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 blah. What does that mean? You're a bigot, you don't understand, and you're a dummy. Critical thinking is lost. So when you lose critical thinking and you put an indoctrination into play, what do you end up with? Zombies. Robots. Programmable little humans that will do the bidding of whoever has their ear. And we have given up that right as parents. So what's our next step? We're a generation behind, it feels like, and now we have to work as grandparents to make up the slack. There are some of us who have made it to the point where we give our kids what they need, and they're now in a position where they're actually picking correctly. Awesome. But I'm afraid the number outweighs on the other side of the spectrum. There are more growing up now without a sense of moral aptitude than ever before. They cannot weigh right from wrong. What they think is up is down. and they have no compass to guide them. They've been told everything is okay. What you do is right. Live your truth. It's your truth. Your truth is not my truth. My truth is not your truth. Whatever you feel like doing, you do. And they believe that is the absolute. And if you present them with something that appeals to their emotions, and we all look, if you've had kids between the ages of 8 and 16, I think this officially shuts off, and everything to do with the emotion takes over, and that's what's making decisions for them. They shut this off without good family structure. And that is exactly where the world comes in and takes over, where we shut off. We stop at the most critical point in children's lives, making it right for them. And we allow the bad influence to step right in that channel. And then we wonder why our kids are the way they are. And look, it's okay to take the blame. I had to do it myself. I had to look at myself and see exactly how wrong I was in raising my children. How aloof I became. Standoff. Just kind of let things happen. They were doing fine at home. I don't care, whatever happens. I've been there, done that. And I paid the consequence for that with at least one. Luckily, blessing on me that it was the eldest, and I could pass the rest of the lessons I learned to the younger ones. Some of us are not that lucky. And we end up with children like the ones that did that walkout, not even understanding what they're walking out for and what they're representing and whose back they really have. But they do it because it feels like it's something they should do. The people that have their attention tell them it's okay. So now the question is, are you going to try and overpower that voice by being the voice of reason in your children's life? Because if you're not going to be that, trust and believe me, somebody else will. And that somebody may never have the same intentions you do, nor will they ever love your child like you can.